By now you have probably heard of, read about, or watched some videos covering the mystery and conspiracy known as Tartaria and its grand empire. But today we're covering what I believe to be the number one factor that has caused this region and empire to be viewed in the light of conspiracy. Tartaria was, and still certainly is, a real place. Its existence is no secret. There are many maps, papers, and books written about its history and regions. In today's world, where Tartaria used to be, there's a Russian territory known as the Republic of Tatarstan, and its capital city is Kazan. The coat of arms for the city of Kazan consists of a sole xylem, which is a dragon serpent with wings and 2 feet. But the Tartarian flag, made for the ruler of Tartaria, has an actual dragon with 4 legs and a pair of wings. This same dragon is seen being slayed on the Russian coat of arms by the venerated Saint George. Saint George and the Dragon is a well-known tale in which a knight, Saint George, saves a princess and conquers a fearsome dragon that had been terrorizing her kingdom. He basically symbolizes the triumph of good over evil. But what is good and what is evil is up for debate and ultimately boils down to perspective. For those reasons, I'm taking an entirely symbolic approach to this matter since we're dealing with symbols and history, which is known to be shrouded in bias and deception. The Russian flag colors are of course red, white, and blue. Many other countries share these same colors like France, the US, and the UK. Each nation has its reasons for why they choose these colors, but I'll tell you, the main reason why these nations choose red, white, and blue goes back to ancient Egypt. The pharaohs of ancient Egypt wore many different crowns, each for its own purpose. The red crown was worn by the ruler of Lower Egypt, the white crown was worn by the ruler of Upper Egypt, and the blue crown was a ceremonial crown worn by pharaohs during military campaigns and battles in times of war. This is where the concept of unifying red, white, and blue originates from. These countries speak through these colors symbolically, advising and reminding others that they are indeed rulers through warfare. Ancient Egypt was the social capital of the world, kind of like how New York City can be viewed as the social capital of the American world. It drew people in from all around for reasons like business, education, and social opportunity, and still does this today. Although each of these countries has warred with each other in the past, and some tensions are still high today, they all have a common unity, which is imperialism, rulership, and their colors. The international symbol of peace, we're told, was designed by British artist Gerald Holtham for the British campaign for nuclear disarmament in 1958. The vertical line in the center represents the flag semaphore signal for the letter D, and the downward line on either side represents the semaphore signal for the letter N, which I may add is quite clever, but I'm no fool. Have you ever heard of the T&O map, also known as the Isidoran map? It's a type of early world map representing the physical world first described by the 7th century scholar Isidore of Seville. But really, it's a symbolic map that represents areas of rulership and dominion. You've probably seen this before. The globus cruciger, also known as the orb and cross. The cross represents Christ's dominion over the orb of the world and is held in the hand of an earthly ruler. You can see the T&O map mounted on the orb, which is Earth. The T&O map concept does unify the world, but it is ultimately separating the world in the process. Much like the medicine wheel symbol invented in 1972 by Charles Storm, which he synthesized from various indigenous cultural sources. When you combine the world peace symbol and incorporate the colors of the medicine wheel, things start to become clear. The world peace symbol may actually be a symbol of how social equity is divided in the New World. The New World is simply the Western world, and the Old World is the Eastern world. You can see in my made-up world peace medicine chart that black and red each get about 16%, while white and yellow each get 33%. And have you ever heard, if it's yellow, let it mellow, if it's brown, flush it down? And so looking back at Tartaria, a very plausible reason as to why this place is being looked at in the light of conspiracy may boil down to plain old racism. If we simply look at the name Tartaria and analyze it etymologically, we can see it's broken up into three parts: Tar-tar-ia. And do you know those squiggly black lines that fill in the cracks of roadways? Well, those are made of tar, which is black. Etymology online, for whatever reason, when you look up tar, tells us that tar baby means a sticky problem and is also a derogatory term for a black person. This is likely to be the reason why modern-day Tatars have since removed the first R from Tartaria in their name. They don't want to be known as the black people. So metaphorically, the dragon St. George was slaying could very much likely be a symbol for the white man slaying black and indigenous peoples all across the world. Many black and indigenous peoples' accomplishments and contributions to society have been erased, purposely forgotten, or stolen throughout history. There's no debate that racial tensions have been high throughout time and still are today. Take the insurgency ethnic conflict in Nagaland, for instance. It began September 11, 1958, and is an ongoing war fought between the ethnic Nagas and the government of India. Basically, the Naga people have a strong sense of ethnic identity and desire to preserve their culture. They have historically felt marginalized by the central Indian government and seek recognition of their native rights and heritage. What's interesting about the Naga people is that the word Naga traces back to the ancient classical language of Sanskrit and literally means serpent. So the Naga peoples of Nagaland identify as serpent people. Serpents and dragons are very similar. We know from earlier that the Xylent is a literal serpent with a dragon head, which is closely related to a wyvern. Could the Naga peoples of Nagaland be descendants of the ancient Grand Empire of Tartaria? Likely.